Hi guys, welcome to another cooking class with Mundo Adventures. And today we are going to be making some vegan lentil soup. I know here in upstate New York, fall is in full swing. The fall foliage is in full effect. I can see right out my window here all the beautiful colors of the trees, and the temperature definitely has dropped. So I'm very excited to be making some nice, cozy, delicious, and healthy lentil soup. These are the ingredients that you're going to be needing to make this. Lentils, of course. I am using green lentils, but you can also use brown lentils. They work just as well. Also, you will be needing carrots, which I've already peeled and chopped up here. Celery. A couple onions. 2 or 3, depending on the size of the onions. These are pretty big, so I'm just going to use 2 today. And then you need some olive oil, some vegetable broth, I have 2 here, some apple cider vinegar, some fresh thyme, which I picked from my herb garden, so good, smells so good already, some minced garlic or fresh garlic, some vegetable bouillon cubes or salt if you don't want to use bouillon cubes, tomato paste, and some black pepper, and some cumin. And I believe that's all you need, so let's get started. The very first thing that you want to do when you want to start making your lentils is to open the bag and then put it on a baking sheet or a flat surface so you can sort out the lentils and make sure that there's no particles, no little rocks, or no bad lentils. So I'm just going to pour it out here. And I'm going to be making the whole bag, so I'm going to pour it all out. It's around 2 cups worth, I believe. So I'm just gonna sort them out like this and just kind of go through. You can use a knife or your fingers and just go through just to make sure there's no bad things in there that you don't want to bite into. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything bad in these lentils. Hopefully I didn't leave anything in there, but it looks good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a bowl now, and then I'm going to cover the lentils with hot water, put a cover on it, and let it sit for about 15 minutes. And that's gonna soften up these lentils, so it's a little bit easier and quicker to cook with. All right, so I just used hot water from the tap and put it in the bowl to cover my lentils here. So I'm gonna put a lid on and let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then I will be back. And in the meantime, I'm actually gonna finish prepping up my ingredients while I have the time, and then when it's time to start cooking, we can just go and throw things in the pot. All right guys, so the lentils are soaked. I strained them. This is about 2 cups, a little bit more than 2 cups of lentils here, but I always like to make a little more, so that's totally fine. So I have my carrots here. I used about 5 carrots here, medium sized. And then I have 5 celery stalks that I chopped up. These are the 2 onions that I chopped. And then here I have 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I have my thyme sprigs here. I have about 4 sprigs of that. The 3 vegetable bouillon cubes. I have 1 teaspoon of cumin and half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I also have here a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I have my 2 quarts of vegetable broth. And then I'll be using 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. All right, so we are ready to go ahead and start cooking on the stove now. All right guys, so I have a nice big pot here on medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my olive oil first, so it coats the bottom of the pot really well, okay? And then I'm gonna put in my chopped onions. All right, so I'm gonna stir this around and let it cook for about 2 minutes. All right, it's been 2 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my carrots, my celery, my garlic, and my tomato paste. Mix it in really well. Okay, once the tomato paste is mixed in really well, everything is coated in the tomato paste, everything is red, you can go ahead and add your spices. So I'm adding the thyme, the vegetable bouillon cubes, the cumin, and the black pepper. All right. Now it's time to stir that all together and let it cook for about 5 minutes here. All right, guys, so it's been 5 minutes. It smells so good. I smell the thyme, I smell the cumin, I smell the onions. It all smells so good all together. And now it is time to add in the lentils, the broth, and then top it off with the apple cider vinegar. So I have my lentils here. I'm just gonna pour them right in. Try to get them all in there because they tend to stick to the bowl a little bit. Okay. All right, adding in the vegetable broth. And if you don't want to use vegetable broth, you can always just use water instead. If you do use water, I would just suggest using a little bit more salt. Okay, that's one box. Yeah, the second one. And then adding the tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And you can use any vinegar here, not just apple cider vinegar. So you can use red wine vinegar, white vinegar, any vinegar that you have. All right, top that off. So after you put the vinegar in, you're gonna wanna bring it up to a simmer again. So since you put all that broth in, it's gonna be pretty flat. So you can increase the heat a little bit here. Just watch it because once it does start to boil, put it back on low to simmer and then put a lid on it and let it cook for about an hour. You can open the lid and stir a little bit just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom and to make sure the consistency is good. If it seems a little too thick, you can always add in more broth or more water. So I want to go ahead and put the lid on now and be back in a little bit. Hi guys, so I'm about 45 minutes in and I've been stirring it every 5 to 10 minutes. So when I'm not stirring it, the lid is still on. Right now, I'm 45 minutes in, I'm giving it one stir here. And as you can see, it has thickened up a lot. The lentils are soaking in that vegetable broth very nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid back on and let it cook for 15 more minutes, and every 5 minutes I'll go ahead and give it a stir. So the lentils just have a few more minutes to go. So in that time, I'm going to take my naan and toast it up. I have it here in a big pan that I just put a little bit of olive oil on. I'm gonna put the naan on. This is just a packaged naan that I got at the grocery store. So it's already pre-cooked, so I'm just gonna warm it up and toast it really good. So I'm gonna let it toast on one side for a couple minutes and then flip it over. Okay, it's been an hour now. The lentil soup is nice, thick, and hearty, and ready to go ahead and put it in a bowl and put a little Parmesan cheese on top. Got my nice big bowl of lentil soup here, right out of the pot, nice and hot. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my naan bread that I toasted up. A couple pieces in there. So delicious. And then I found this vegan Parmesan cheese, which I already had a little taste and it's really good. So I'm gonna sprinkle some on top. And there you go. A vegan lentil soup with naan bread and vegan Parmesan cheese on top. All right, I'm gonna have a little taste test here, get a little of everything on my spoonful. And it is really hot, so I'm trying to let it cool down a little bit. All right. The lentils are nice and soft, cooked perfectly, The vegetables are nice and soft too. It's delicious. I can taste all the spices in there. Tastes so fresh. And the cheese is really good. I'm really impressed by this vegan cheese. Enjoy!